welcome back to my homemade Formula 1 kart build. We left off last episode with the engine running from the cockpit with the key and the kill switch. That was awesome, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Today we're gonna work on a bigger issue, which is when I turn the steering wheel, we only turn one wheel. So we're gonna start our way from the bottom with the hubs, then we're gonna work on getting our steering arms out, work on the rack a little bit, and then work on the shaft. We should be able to get this thing done. Here's our Miata knuckles, our Miata brakes, everything just works so simply. The only downside is that this bottom piece right here is actually at a 20-degree angle from where the shaft for the knuckle goes. So, the lower control arm of the Miata was at a 20-degree angle. The lower outer tie rod was also at a 20-degree angle. Our heim joints don't do those angles very well. So we put an angle on our lower control arm. We can't really put an angle on our tie rod just because you can't put a bend in it. It's supposed to be straight. So we have to cut this piece off, level it back out straight, and then weld it back on, which I'm not really looking forward to, but it's something that needs to be done. So we'll pull off our calipers and our brake rotors, and let's get started. Whatever size that is. Close enough. We've got this flattened device. You can see that the top of this one is actually parallel to like the output stub or whatever that you want to call that. And this is at a big angle. So what we've got to do, just cut it right here, twist it ever so slightly, re-weld it on. It is a cast material, so I don't know like how strong it's going to be, question mark. So I'm gonna do my best to cut them in the same spot. I'll probably get my caliper out, measure it, eyeball it, twist it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the closest we can get to perfect, the better. Against my better judgment, I'm gonna try something different. We're gonna cut these things out. I wish I had an arc droid right now. Here's what we're working with. The brackets are really raw right now. I'm going to contour them after. I just made them beefy, that way when we weld them, we don't pull any material away. The hole is actually roughly in the same place as before. I just didn't think it was gonna be strong enough welding cast to cast. So I got this piece of 1/4-inch steel, wrapped it around it so I can weld the whole way around it on the bottom and the top side. And then our heim joint is going to fit in this end. And when it comes time to weld these things, we're gonna use the barbecue to heat them up and cool them down, just because when you weld the cast, you wanna heat and cool slowly. So we're gonna get the other one mocked up, get them in the barbecue, and get ready to weld them. We just have an old little barbecue for stuff like this, so heat those things up, get them welded. Oh yeah, let them cook. There's old barbecue sauce and shit in there too, so even if it doesn't look good, it's gonna smell good. After welding, still need some cleanup work. So originally we used these big heim joints just because we had nothing available. They're 5/8 inside diameter. I did get some of these. These are 5/8 to 1/2-inch sleeves. I am going to put a spacer under here. I'm just going to order the proper spacers for here, like all the misalignment spacers. So we don't have those right now. Oh yeah. Be a lot easier to move around now. Wow, it couldn't have worked any better. This is how close lock is on the control arms on this side, and that's how close lock is on the control arm on the back side. Nailed it. Unfortunately for now, that's where the good times end. We did get it to steer, but we need to remake this portion right here. I want a stronger bearing in the front. I want it to be higher in the front. I want a collapsible joint in it. And it needs to be a little bit stronger than what it is currently. We spent a little bit of time here reinforcing this little plate that we had there. So we had these two brackets on the side, and now I'm gonna, I don't know, this whole little piece, it's like 1/8 inch thick, but it still flexes a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, I don't know if this is gonna work or not, I'm gonna throw some small tube in there, run some stitches on it, and see if that strengthens this piece here. And then this eventually gets welded on to the chassis. So if we need to, we'll add another bracket from somewhere else on the chassis to this to stiffen it up, but I'm just trying to stiffen it from the backside without adding too much weight. All right, so this was our old steering shaft. Heim joints do not like to go on 3/4 shaft for whatever reason. So instead of using Heim joints, I have a set of 3/4 inch bearings that I'm going to try and make work, because these things, well, it's not gonna flip over this piece, but these things fit on this shaft a lot better. And I'm gonna need 2 sets of bearings, because if I use this like floater expanding joint, hold on, it expands. That's that collapsible column. So if I do use this, then I need something to hold the steering in place side to side, up and down, front and back, which you can't really do with one Heim joint anymore. You have to use at least 2 Heim joints or a couple of bearings. This might look a little bit goofy, but I promise this isn't going to make sense later either, so just go with it. You know what I did though? I totally just cut this at like a 93-degree angle, because I set it up as a 93-degree angle before and I didn't set it back. Sure did. You did it, Kyle. Yep. That doesn't make sense, does it? Well, I finally got it squared on one end. I had to crank this piece down a lot, so one end squared, flip that over, square the other end. Mini lathe comes in handy sometimes. Close enough for what we're doing. Just gotta make sure this thing's tight as heck. Alright, doesn't sound like it's skipping anymore, which means it's probably flat on the end, which it is. Nice. I'm pretty happy that I did that. Makes me feel a little bit better. Let's see if we got enough hands to do this now. Easy. Now I've got a shaft, 2 bearings on it. I have to buy more bearings because if I weld this, those will get cooked. Now we're just going to simulate a steering shaft, but it's going to go through here like this. And this is actually going to get welded onto the 1.25 inch pipe that goes across to the top. So you can see that the steering shaft does not get interfered by that little cut that we made. It could even possibly go a little bit deeper if we want to get a little more weld on it, but we'll just weld this and then support it another way afterwards. I hate this clamp. So how we're going to finish this off is we're going to put a U-joint here. We have to cut a piece of this out still. This is going to go through here. We still have to get locking collars to lock either side of this. And then we got us a brand new quick release on this end that we can weld on eventually. Okay, this piece I'm going to need a little bit of machining to go over that, but kind of our new steering setup. Yeah, all we need is some locking collars to stop the steering from going in and out. So here and there, which might end up just being washers tack welded on there. That might work too. See you guys tomorrow. Here's our old quick release hub. Here's our new quick release hub. We'll do it like any hood wrap would. Just take some tape. Find some grease for my finger now. Didn't work out as planned. I expected better from myself. I should figure out what the center of that is first. Couldn't drill a straight hole to save my life, so a couple, well, all of them are a little bit oblong, so, you know, it's good for now. This is the exact reason why I need the ArcDroid CNC cutter. So when I'm building brackets and stuff, like I don't know why, but I just can't drill a hole where I want to drill a hole to save my life. I also cut my shaft off, so it's time to put that in too. Oh my god, that's so good. That's so good.
Oh god, it's so good.
Okay. do some welding. Okay. Now, we did exactly what we said we were going to do. I got the steering shaft tack welded on this end, and we did exactly what we said we were going to do. We adjusted our knuckles, we added some tie rods, we beefed up the steering rack, and we put the collapsible link in it. I do understand that my Ackerman's probably the wrong way because I'm turning from the front of the knuckles instead of the rear of the knuckles. That's just one of the things I had to do with using the Miata knuckles. I could probably swap the sides around, put the rotors in the front, and flop the calipers, but you know what, it's gonna be okay for what we're doing. Moment of truth, the new quick connect. I still have to put some spacers to stop the steering from sliding in and out. I don't have that dual axis steering system like Lewis Hamilton had, but we turn left with the steering wheel, it turns left. Oh my God, that's actually, that's gonna be so tough to turn in an actual race, I think. Oh my God. I guess technically it's on the weight of the wheels, and it's not terrible. Oh my God, it's starting to come to life though. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. Like I said, we modified the knuckles, beefed up the steering, we have the collapsible link in there. All we need is suspension, which is going to be a difficult one to do, but I'm hoping to utilize a 3D printer to help with suspension components, and then drivetrain components, which we could also use a 3D printer to help with drivetrain components, but getting a drive shaft made is going to be the difficult part. I kind of want to replace this diff with an actual Miata diff. That way it's Miata knuckles, Miata diff. It'll work a lot easier, and reinforce the structure some. So I'm going to put some cross bracing back in here. I just didn't do that yet. And then we got to go from up here somewhere to back there to do that. I've also ordered some radiators so we can do the cooling system, and then I've also ordered some other miscellaneous stuff so we can do some of the push rod suspension stuff. But this is how it looks so far. I think it looks pretty badass. It feels so much nicer to sit in it now, and one step closer, guys. And really, it's not even that hard to push in. So if I just kind of I think the alignment's off a little bit. I also want to blast this gear off real quick, because I think there's splines under it. I think that's like a 14. Whew. I was gonna be like, you tell me that doesn't fit, that would suck. So right away this water pump housing needs to be modified. Good thing we can weld aluminum, that way you can modify this housing, because the drive shaft's gonna have to go right through where this piece goes. I don't know, this is like a clutch housing as well, and I don't know if that's gonna work anymore, because I think this is what you push in to activate the clutch. It was basically this piece right here. I did lose the piece, or it's still on the bike, that this piece goes into. That is going to have to be heavily modified in order to get a drive shaft through there. And then the fun part is we're gonna have to find a yoke for this and a yoke for that, and get a custom shaft made for there with a little tiny slip joint in it. Even though this doesn't move and this doesn't move, I still want a slip joint in it, just expansion, twisting, whatnot. I guess that's it for this one. If you guys want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace easy, get that meat.